Welcome to today's special edition of Niger Mouthpiece. We welcome everyone, all our viewers from different parts of the world. And today we have a special personality. In football, we have people like Larry Izamuje. And in cybersecurity, we have this man. He's a special pundit. He talks more about IT. He sleeps IT. He eats IT, he drinks IT. His name is Osita Nwajiufor, a member of Forbes Business Council. Let us welcome to this special episode, Mr. Osita Nwajiufor.
Wow. I've been following Niger Mouthpiece. I've watched some of your episodes on YouTube, and it's been amazing. The work you are doing with your team, these are really commendable work that you are doing. Sometimes there are people that do some work, but they don't gain visibility because of maybe busy schedules and so many things. But the world we live today, with everything going around us, it requires for people to create some time occasionally to share their story, inspire others, because it's all about inspiration. What we need right now in the world is more doses of positive inspiration. So thank you very much for the great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Osita. We've said a little bit of your bio, but there is no way we want to talk about you more than yourself. It will do our viewers a lot of good if you can shed light on how it all started, where you've been, and just about yourself, please. So,
my name is Osita Nwajiufor, as you have rightly mentioned. I've been in tech space for over 2 decades, more than 20 years now. I'm a graduate of computer science from Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I've also done my master's with University of Ife back in Nigeria. Then after that, I've done some executive programs with Rotman School of Management and also Harvard Business School. Currently, I am the founder of Blacktech. Blacktech is an ecosystem of over 20,000 professionals all across Canada and globally. And what we are trying to do within the tech ecosystem in Blacktech is to help professionals to pivot into tech in order to earn good money. This idea of Blacktech actually came from my personal experience. When I came to Canada, and with all my experience back home, just like I mentioned, I've been in tech for more than 2 decades. I've worked for some, good companies like SAP, IBM. I was also group head of IT of a multi-billion-dollar oil and gas company back in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. So, with all this experience and over 20 IT certifications, I came to Canada and I was struggling within the first few months to get a good job. So it dawned on me that something differently has to be done. And that was really what led us to, give birth to Blacktech, which today have trained more than 10,000 professionals globally.
Wow. And I say it again, if we go all the way to make sure we get him for you, he's worth it. Now, we appreciate all that you've said about yourself. Could you please let our viewers know, because you've been able to put so many things together for yourself. You were inducted into Forbes. When was it, and what is the qualification that led into the induction?
Yeah, thank you. So for Forbes, just like many other awards that we've gotten and recognitions and invitations, most of these are really things that I do not go out of my way to sort for them. Organizations, individuals, companies, governments have actually recognized us for the effort and the work we do. Ontario government just recognized us just last month as the most tech impactful ecosystem in Ontario. We've also won a couple of awards. That of Forbes, as you know, Forbes is an exclusive community.
That's it.
Meant for thought leaders and business leaders, successful business leaders. So that was how, based on the work we've done within the Blacktech ecosystem, and of course the community that we have, and also in terms of the value, right, of our ecosystem at this moment, because the minimum amount that is expected before you can be inducted into Forbes is that your business should be grossing minimum of $500,000. So, we're able to surpass all this, including the impact that we've had in the lives of professionals. So I was really elated when they reached out to extend this particular invitation to myself. And since then, I've been an active member of Forbes. I've written a couple of articles on Forbes as well, and I also engage in their monthly, business review and business meeting with thought leaders across the world.
Thank you so much. Of course, this is what we do. Before we go on air or before we go on a visit to any of the guests, we'll try as much as possible to look into their bio. And while looking you up, we saw that you worked as the head of ICT with Ositas back in Nigeria. That's you talked about, but you didn't actually mention the company's name, but we're sorry. We just have to. You were doing pretty well for yourself. So why did you leave Nigeria for Canada?
That's a great question. I have actually gotten this question quite a number of times from so many people. Truthfully, as I always say to professionals generally, when I talk about myself, I have never had a reason to look for a job since I left school. So right from university, final year, the moment I was wrapping up, I was able to get a job straight away into consulting. From there, I worked with IBM, from IBM to banking, from banking to oil and gas, So, and most of these jobs were pretty much like headhunting, mostly through LinkedIn, for instance. Recruiters would just reach out to me to say, hey, your profile, perfectly matches the role I'm looking for. Are you interested? And, So, for me, I have been privileged and I've been lucky, enough to be able to, move up the radar all the way to becoming group head of IT for a very big multi-billion-dollar oil and gas company. Coming to Canada was what I would say that it wasn't really my plan. I've always mentioned that. I was doing pretty well career-wise, and I didn't see much need to travel to Canada. Rather, probably go on vacation, which we do go, travel to US, travel to UK, we just travel and, spend some time and come back. But my wife had a different plan. She actually started the Canadian PR application without even my consent. Right? She started without my consent, and before I knew what was happening, the approval came in, and she told me that, hey, we've been approved for PR.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? PR for what? So that was it. So after some time, we had to come to Canada, trying to make decision whether to stay or not. Eventually, we went back again, then came back a second time. So from there, we just decided to call this place home.
Yeah. What year did you eventually move into Canada as a permanent resident?
Yeah, so we came in 2016, then kind of looked, and for me, I felt I wasn't ready. So after that, we have to go back, and finally came back in 2017.
So are you saying to me that all that you've been able to put together as a person and as a family is within this short period?
For me, I sincerely think that we are still, we are just starting, right? Mm-hmm. I would tell you that, when people look at the number of people, lives that have been impacted, over 10,000 people trained, then of course over 100,000 people impacted through master classes and free programs that we usually deliver, including the free tech SQL program that has impacted more than 5,000 lives. When people look at all these things, for me, I would tell you that I strongly feel that we are just scratching the surface. When you look at the number of people in this country alone that are currently underemployed. You and I know that immigrants, professional immigrants, are highly credentialed. Many of them have got masters, a lot of certification, so many work experience in their home countries. But when they came into this environment, what has happened, right? So many are underemployed. So for me, we've just started. We've not even getting into the main reading of the tax ahead. Okay,
Yeah.
but I appreciate those kind words. God has really been faithful, really helping us to make sure that we stay focused, and of course helping us with all the other resources that we need, and of course the strategic partners that we've been working with to ensure that we're able to move the needle of this particular important work forward.
Thank you so much, Osita. Now, just like every other person that migrated to Canada, I am sure that you have your days of little beginning. When you came in the first time you came, you did a kind of sightseeing to know if it's the right decision or not. So when you now came in eventually to stay, how was the initial period? How was the time, the days of your little beginning? Can you share with us? Because we use this to encourage our people that are coming in right now. Some people, when we have them on set, said, oh, they started up as Uber drivers. Some said they started up as this and that. Everybody has their stories. Please, can you share your story with our esteemed viewers so that they can learn?
Yeah, Philip's a great question there. So for me, I would say that when we came in, one of the decisions we made was really not to do any form of survival jobs. It was just a personal decision, and of course, having risen to certain level back home, I feel that instead of just struggling to pay the bills, it's best to pursue professional career in this environment. So that was part of what my initial decision was. And so I started off, the first job I got was a senior business analyst position, with a property company in Toronto. So that was where I started. At some point, I was also the project manager, helping the organization with so many implementations that they were trying to do, So that was how I started, right? So after a year plus, I left that environment and got another job with an energy company here in Ontario as a director responsible for their ERP systems implementations, right? So for me, it has always been professional, right? Trying to get into the professional realm of things. But again, everybody have got their story. There are those that probably, when they came in here, they need to start with maybe minimum wage jobs, survival jobs. By all means, those are also fantastic opportunities. I often tell professionals that there are three stages whenever you move into a new country in terms of your career growth. The first stage is identify your immediate goal. Second is what are your short-term goals? And the third, what are your long-term goals? So a short-term goal could be, to become a customer service rep, for instance, just to pay the bills. Because the bills here are not smiling.
They're actually not smiling.
They're not. So probably customer service. Then while you are there, you plan your next step in terms of the short-term goal. You don't want to stay in the survival job for too long. That's the truth. So, from customer service, you could plan now to become a data analyst, cybersecurity analyst, business analyst, project manager, right? So those could be the short-term goal. And while you are there, you are also planning your exit strategy to get into the long-term goal, which could be leadership, right? Because one of the things I've also encouraged so many professionals is to always think strategic. If you look at like the Canadian environment or the workforce, there are so many black people that are operating within the operational and tactical levels. So we also need to think and look forward to, aspiring to leadership positions, because those are the kind of positions where you can influence changes within the organization as well.
Thank you so much. You just heard him. He talked about you being strategic. You have to think and aspire to attain greater heights. We're going to be having a short break there. I will be back in a minute. Don't change the dial.
Let me wait, they drive your bus. Let me wait, they drive your keke. My balosa. Let me wait, they run around. Let me they do the job. My balosa.
I am Kasmi Okedenachi. If you give me the next 90 seconds of your time, you'll become richer and wealthier. I am a real estate broker, property developer, and investment advisor. At Kasmi Retail, we specialize in helping people increase their net worth as we guide them to invest in only profitable real estate portfolio. We have created a reliable and more profitable real estate investment plan that beats any annual percent yield APY that your bank can offer. With our real estate buyback plan, you can earn up to 25%, 40%, and 50% in 6 months, 10 months, and 12 months, respectively. You ask me, how does this work? It's pretty simple. All you have to do is to call my number on the screen, which is 081-865-78916. I'll be more than willing to provide you with all the information that you need and answer all your questions.
Welcome back, esteemed viewers. I know you've been well educated and informed. Like I told you when we started, I said somebody we're bringing online today is a pundit. Could you tell us how you've been coping, transitioning between both Blacktech, Nipa?
Yeah, thank you. So when you look at the challenges faced by immigrants, just like I said at the beginning, the challenges are enormous. One of the challenges that I saw when I came in was lack of community, right? So when you come into a new country, communities are great vehicles, that could help to nurture new immigrants. Because in communities you'll find people that look like you'll find people that have the same, career aspiration, and of course you can gain things like mentorship, guidance, even job referrals. So those were the challenges that I saw, and that led me to found NIPCA, which is a not-for-profit organization, called NIPCA, which is Nigerian IT Professionals in Canada. Today we are over 5,000 members within the community, in the NIPCA community. So even within the NIPCA community, most recently we also founded what we call WinTech, which is Women in Technology, which is a subset of NIPCA, but mostly focused on women. Because we identify that there are so many women that are aspiring to go into tech. But statistics have shown that women are the minority in tech. And black women are the minority even within the women group. So it means that there is need to create something quite unique, That was what we did with WinTech, and today they are doing very, very well. So those are, not-for-profit side of things. But looking at creating impactful programs to help immigrants, help them, to really acquire skills in order to get very good jobs. That led us to found Blacktech Academy. Yeah, so within the Blacktech Academy, the focus is on trainings, tech trainings. Most of the trainings you see these days out there are focused on knowledge, right? So organizations are training, or training centers or institutes, training people to know stuff. But the challenge is that many professionals require much more than just knowing stuff. Many of them require hands-on, experiential, project-based training, where they can actually practice and gain real-world experience. That way, it becomes easier to have conversations with hiring managers during interview. Because without experiential knowledge, it's difficult, right? So that was what Blacktech, saw as a very big gap within the trainings out there. And today, I'm happy to say that we've been able to design 12 impactful programs, from business analysis to cybersecurity to project management to cloud computing, just name it, Salesforce. All these trainings are hands-on, project-based, right? So that even if you don't have IT background, you can come into the program, gain theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge, and hands-on skills, in addition to work experience that will help you get the job that you deserve.
Thank you so much. Seeing how passionate you've been with the handling of Blacktech, especially the students, testimonies, reviews, positive reviews and testimonies. What has been the drive? Because I see the little time I spent with you, I see the way you encourage people. You just want everybody to be okay. You just want everybody to be, and in your own language, you want everybody to be in the realm of 6 figures. So what has been the drive? You don't want to keep this to yourself. You want everybody to attain that height. What has been the drive?
Yeah, everything boils down to the challenges, to the enormous challenges that we've seen. And of course, one thing that I've also mentioned to people, anytime I want to share a story about myself, is that I'm a very passionate being. Teaching, knowledge impartation has been what I would say my forte over the years. And this passion started right from high school. In my high school, I was the president of science club. We had a science club where we talk about biology, chemistry, maths, further maths, and all those stuff. That was founded when I was in high school, and I led that for a number of years before I went into university. In the university, at some point, I owned the largest tutorial center in my university. It's difficult to pass through the university then as a student without hearing my name. So even that was why when I contested for political office as a student, it was it was one hand, because my name was already a household name, right? So for me, it's about impacting the lives of people, right? I could remember some of my classmates back in the university, after classes like further maths, advanced calculus, I would have to go to the board to explain certain things to them, especially those that were not able to really grab some of these things. For me, maths, advanced maths were the things I love, right? So all this really have been formed over the years. So seeing what I do today is not by accident. It's not like I just started this. It's something that has been there for many years now. And of course in Canada and globally, listening to people, seeing their challenges. When I speak to professionals and I see that, hey, this guy should be earning $100 and something thousand. But discussing with him, he's just earning 40K, 50K. These are real issues and real challenges that needs to be tackled. So when I think about these issues, they keep me highly motivated to ensure that anyone that passes through the Blacktech ecosystem is not just passing through, but is also highly motivated to actually pursue their dreams.
Thank you so much. We have so many, like I keep saying, Nigeria is one of the fastest growing community here in Canada as we speak, and so many are still coming in. And some of them are even coming without an iota of an idea of whatever they're going to do when they arrive Canada. And what would you want to say to young immigrants that are not tech aligned, that wants to come to Canada, so that they can start preparing themselves ahead of time? Because I know IT has come to stay. I need you to speak to them, because some of them actually wanted a tutor, somebody that's going to guide them into this kind of realm.
Yeah, you are right when you talk about technology. Today, there is nothing in present world that does not have some element of tech. Tech has been embedded into virtually everything that we do. In finance, you talk about fintech. In healthcare, you've got health tech. In properties, you've got prop tech. In we have the biotech. Tech is everywhere, right? So for me, one of the vehicles that I've seen a lot of professionals have been able to use to break the chain of poverty and unemployment is technology. Acquiring the right skills, because the right skills will set you apart. That is the truth. So one thing I tell professionals generally is think about your competitive advantage. Think about your background. Where are you coming from? What skills do you have? What are your transferable skills, right? Because tech is huge. It's like an ocean. And that is why in Blacktech, we have the people we call career advisors. Their work and job is to help you through a discovery call, where they will do skill mapping to understand your background, where you are going, and what you want to achieve. that way you'll be able to get into a program that aligns, with your competitive advantage. So those are the kind of things that we've done in Blacktech. So my advice to anyone that is looking at coming over is, think about your skills, think about what you want to do, and again, know that there are several areas you want to pursue. But one thing about tech is that it has very, very, very limited barrier to entry. In fact, there's no barrier. Unlike, for example, you want to go into healthcare, nurse or a doctor, you need a license. You want to become a lawyer, you need a license. In so many other areas, license. But in tech, you don't need a license. What you need is just skill, ability to acquire the skill, and of course, work on your resume, apply for the job, and that is it.
And if I may ask, for someone who's not got that background at all, maybe he's been a banker, or no, sorry, not a banker, he's been maybe a business person, though he's knowledgeable about a business person all his life, and he wants to get into tech. How easy will it be for them to transit?
Yeah, very easy. If you look at our website, you will see incredible testimonies. Some of the, alumni, some of our alumni, right, are people that have got different backgrounds. We've got, in fact, just last 2 weeks, a pharmacy, someone that was a pharmacist back home, just got a job as a cybersecurity professional. Wow. From pharmacy, she did the 3.5 months training with Blacktech, pharmacy to cybersecurity, $120,000, right? Now, look at that. No license was required. What was simply required was commitment, right? Commitment to the program, commitment by reaching out through the mentorship program that we have and getting guidance through the counselors and the mentors that we have. So you don't necessarily need to have any tech background. The most important thing is commitment, right? Once you've got the commitment and you are highly motivated, you will succeed.
Yes, we have a lot of Nigerians that, watch Niger Mouthpiece, and some of them are getting set to join the Japa into Canada or other parts of the world. Can they tap from Blacktech in any way since they are not in Canada?
Absolutely, they can. In fact, as a matter of fact, today, one of the things that is really going on right now, talking about within the community, and everyone is talking about it, and is the Envision Growth Summit. We have a summit coming up 7th of December. It's going to be a very big one. The keynote speaker is the Minister of Training and Skills Development, Province of Ontario. He's been confirmed to come in to speak to our community. We're also launching a $2 million Blacktech Ecosystem Fund, which is a fund also targeted at supporting so many immigrants and professionals that are looking at pivoting into tech, right? So many professionals across the world today has been, part of the Blacktech ecosystem. Location is not a barrier. As of today, we've got alumni and students across 50 countries. So whether the person is in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, France, UK, location is not a barrier, right? Because all our programs are delivered virtually.
Wow. One takeaway from this particular point is location is not a barrier. So wherever you are in the world, go on your Google, type Blacktech, and there you go. You're going to get there. I can assure you that. We're going to be coming back to you in the next few seconds because we really need to talk about the Nipa that has to do with our community. But before we go there, we'll be having a short break. Don't change the dial. Thank you.
Now me wait they drive your bus. Now me wait they drive your keke. Baloso. Now me wait they run around. Now me they do the job. Baloso.
I am Canad. If you give me the next 90 seconds of your time, you'll become richer and wealthier. I am a real estate broker, property developer, and investment advisor. At Cybersecurity, we specialize in helping people increase their net worth as we guide them to invest in only profitable real estate portfolio. We have created a reliable and more profitable real estate investment plan that beats any annual percent yield APY that your bank can offer. With our real estate buyback plan, you can earn up to 25% 40%, and 50% in 6 months, 10 months, and 12 months, respectively. You ask me, how does this work? It's pretty simple. All you have to do is to call my number on the screen, which is 081-865-78916. I'll be more than willing to provide you with all the information that you need and answer all your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Osita, for your time, and thanks for the educative and informative responses you've given to our viewers so far. Thank you. So we're going to be going into your social responsibility to the community, which is one of the reasons people like you put a lot together, because I know that most of the things you do today is to better the lot of the members of our community. Now, you talked about NIPCA. Can you please tell us how can NIPCA be of benefit for people? Because it's not just going to be, if I am not in tech, must I be in tech to take advantage of NIPCA?
Yeah, so that's a very, very, very good question that I've gotten a number of times. So when we started, the idea was really to create a community, strictly for Nigerians that are within the tech space. That was the focus for NIPCA. But over time, we've seen so many people, aspiring to join the community, including non-tech professionals, but are aspiring to get into the tech space. We've also got people from other races, that are also trying to come in, other backgrounds. Today we have Indians, we have Chinese, we have Jamaicans, and so many other, professionals, within the NIPCA community. So it's not really just about Nigerians now. We've kind of expanded a little bit, and of course become more inclusive. So you can join if you are aspiring to go into tech, or if you're already a tech professional, because our forte is tech, right? So that is why the vision was not to create a community for everyone. For example, if you are in healthcare, you might not benefit much from the conversation within the community. So most of the conversations are around tech, right? So that is why we encourage those that are within the tech space or aspiring to go into tech to join the community.
Okay. Where do you see Blacktech in the near future, like a few years down the line? Where do you see Blacktech?
Yeah, so in the last few years, we've been able to train over 10,000 professionals. Many will say, wow, that is quite a large number. But our next target that we've set for ourselves is to train 1 million professionals. That is the next target, and we're going to be speaking more to that on December 7th, when we're going to be launching officially our new website. The website is up and running right now, but it has got more content, more programs, more information, and of course with more than 50 program team members, including instructors, career strategists, career mentors, over 50 right now. We are poised to take things to the next level. So in the near future, our ambitious growth is to, because today we are talking about just 50 countries, right? In terms of people joining, we want to be able to become like a household name when it comes to tech, experiential tech training globally. So it's not just Canada anymore, but we want to really expand and get more people to benefit, and be able to beat underemployment. Because underemployment is not just happening in Canada. There is underemployment in UK. There is in France, everywhere, right? So we really want to see how we could, continue to impact the lives of humans across the world.
Wow, that's great. We've talked about the juicy part of the journey. Can you please share your challenges? Because the challenges as well could be something that would benefit some people that are going through similar challenges.
Yeah, Phillips, I would tell you for sure that yes, there are challenges. There are challenges because, first of all, entrepreneurship is not easy. because I regard myself as a social entrepreneur. It's not an easy work because, especially when you are passionate about what you do. Just like I mentioned, we've got over 50 team members. So you can imagine, working with about 50-something people within the team. It's not easy to get everyone to fully align to the vision because, again, everyone have got certain things going on in their personal lives as well. But one thing that has really helped us is, identifying talents and individuals that are able to understand the vision, and not just understanding the vision, but keen into that vision, right? So that has really helped us to ensure that we keep going and keep breaking more grounds. Another thing as well has to do with the home front, because this kind of work is something that requires you to be, sometimes I probably sleep like 3-4 hours in a day, because you are thinking, what next, right? You are talking about thousands of people within the community. It's like all these people are on my shoulder. So every time my thought process is what next, what next? So even the home front as well, thank God for my wife, she has been a very, very, very fantastic person, right? She has been incredible, making sure that the home front does not suffer. The kids are able to, be well attended to. Even sometimes I could miss 1 or 2, occasions that I should be present in the family, or maybe due to work. Either I traveled or some other things, but she's always there, making sure she covers all those slacks from me, especially at these early stages of building. But gradually, I think we'll get to a point where things will begin to run itself without too much of my involvement.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. We have. It's an advent of people running away. Maybe because of maladministration, maybe because I think most of the people running away from Nigeria, there are people that suffered maladministration either in the area of insecurity or in the area of otherwise. Now, what would you want to say to young Nigerians moving en masse to other part of the world, and those that are readily here in Canada that have not even found their feet? I need you to talk to them, please.
Yeah. So the Japa syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think that is the in thing right now. Many persons want to leave. Especially if you look at what is happening back home in terms of the economic situation back home. I think Nigerians have not really had it this bad in terms of what is happening back home. You talk about the economic situation, unemployment rate. The last statistics from the government says we've got over 40% in unemployment. You talk about inflation. I think I've lost count of where we are in terms of inflation in the country. So there are a lot of challenges, economic challenges, security challenges, and of course, so many other issues. So I won't blame anyone that want to, make a move to other climes or other countries. But one thing that I will always encourage is for, everyone to always try as much as possible to ensure that you are going through the right process. Yeah, to avoid challenges and some untold hardship. There are people that sometimes when they want to make those moves, they don't really plan. Maybe somebody just told you, oh, there's this route, and the next day you pack everything you want to move without proper planning, without proper assessment, without even understanding the requirements, within that particular country where you're going. So make your research and also make sure you are going through the right process. When you do, then you come into the country, you'll find out that things will not be as tough, right, compared to someone that didn't have any information, no research, and stuff like that. So for me, I will encourage anyone that wants to move to do so. But make your research, make your finding before you actually make that move.
Thank you so much. You're a big personality in Nigerian community, and like I said when we started, your presence is highly felt in the cyber space, IT space. How much of your presence are we going to be feeling outside the IT space?
Yeah, so For me, tech has been my thing, right? We're talking about over 20 years now. So it's been tech. But again, beyond tech, I'm also a community person.
That's it.
I belong to a number of community associations. And of course, I also try as much as possible to use the Nipa platform, right, to continuously, tell the story of what Nigerians are doing. So just like I mentioned, within the Nipa platform, we've got the other platform, the WinTech, focusing on women. And also, summer this year, that was June, we launched the Coding Champ Academy, right, which is for coding, for kids, because we realized, hey, we are not going to just be, getting the six-figure jobs out there. What about our children? We need to think about them as well. So that was how we started the coding with 40 children. We had the first batch in summer, and the second batch is actually starting tomorrow, right? So those are some of the things we are doing. Catch them young, train these kids, and support them, because they are the future of tomorrow. So with all these skills and everything, we need to be able to pass them on to the children as well. So for me, beyond tech, I'm a community person, I'm a family person, I'm a husband, I'm a dad to 4 beautiful children. So I would say it's not just tech, but I know many people know me as a tech professional, but beyond tech, I also participate. Even soccer, there's a soccer league within my community here. I'm also a soccer, in fact, I'm a striker. When you see me on the pitch, you won't believe that.
That's beautiful. So like you said, I'm going to borrow your language. Beyond tech, how do you unwind?
Yeah, just like I mentioned, soccer is one of those games that I love so much. So it's one of my hobbies. There's a community soccer group here that I belong to. So I actually participate in a whole number of soccer events, weekly soccer matches that we do have. That is one. Two, I also create some time occasionally with my family. At least once a month, we always have like a family dinner, time out, where I take my wife and kids and we get somewhere and unwind. We do that a lot every month. And of course, there are so many other community events. I attend a whole number of them. You have community end of the year party, picnic, summer event, birthday parties, and so many other events going on within the community, right? So I'm also someone that attends a whole number of community events.
Finally, we appreciate how much you have taken us today, but we need you to give a parting speech to our community.
Yeah, Philip, so when you talk about unhealthy, talking about unhealthy or maybe some challenges that are happening within the community, I think it's not peculiar to the Nigerian community, right? Every community have got their challenges, have got their issues. But of course, one thing that I always say whenever I have the opportunity to speak to members of our community is to understand that to win in this age and in this time, you got to collaborate, right? So collaboration is the new order. It's no longer competition. So whatever you are doing and you discover somebody else doing something else, find a way, find a way to collaborate. When both of you are able to collaborate, you are able to support one another in order to grow. So my encouragement to everyone listening is about collaboration. Find ways to collaborate with others. If you are in Canada, because of the environment where we find ourselves, it is an environment where community matters. Community. Even the government recognizes when a community is strong and is able to pull weight. Government will come to you. They will come. That's the truth. But when the community is not together, everybody is just doing their thing, at the end of the day, the government will identify more with those communities that are working together with one voice. So for me, let's collaborate more, right? Let's like ourselves, love ourselves the more. And again, if there's anyone listening to me, you are currently in Canada or anywhere and you are underemployed. So when I talk about underemployment, it means you are earning a salary that is less than what you should be earning. If, for example, you should be earning $150,000 and you are earning 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000, you are underemployed. So if you are in that category, what I want to encourage you to do is to think, what can you do to step out of that particular zone, right? Many people tend to be in the, in the fear zone or the comfort zone. But again, statistics have shown us that nothing grows in a comfort zone. We got to move from comfort to growth zone. So my encouragement is to reach out. If you want to reach out to Blacktech, my team, they are there. Just go to blacktechacademy.ca. Reach out to the team. The phone numbers are there. Chat up with the career advisors. They will be there to help you, guide you through, and position you. Phillips, I also want to use this final opportunity to commend you. It's not easy, the work you do, you and your team. This is a great work, like I said at the beginning, because lot of things are happening out there. There are so many people that are depressed. I never know this until I founded communities. If I tell you how many phone calls I get in a day, right? So many people are depressed. Many are finding ways through which they could actually make a good living. So programs like this will obviously help to bring vital information to the community. Yes. So thank you for the great work you are doing.
Thank you.
Keep it up, and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Viewers at home, all has been said, and I know you have been informed. We look forward to having you again next time when we shall be on another episode. Thank you so much.